Hi, my name is Amanda and I am a colorful still life oil painter. In this video, I'm going to show you how I make prints of my oil paintings at home. When I first started making prints, the task was a bit daunting, but I have come up with a pretty easy way to do it. Figuring out how to scan my paintings was a big goal of mine for my art business because getting my paintings scanned by someone else cost me hundreds of dollars and was not sustainable for how many paintings I make. To make my paintings, I use the Canon Pixma Pro 200. This printer prints up to 13 by 19 size paper. The biggest prints I use it for are 12 by 12 inches. To scan my paintings, I use the Epson Perfection V600 photo scanner. This scanner can scan up to 8.5 by 11.5-ish inches. I have scanned paintings as big as 12 by 12 and 11 by 14 using this scanner. Before scanning my painting, I like to make sure there are no bits of dust on it. I do this by putting painter's tape over the surface. Next, I dust off my scanner and wipe off the scanning bed. Epson has a software you download that lets you control the settings of the scan. I don't mess with any of the settings besides the resolution and size of the scan. I scan all my paintings at 1200 dpi and I size the scan based on the size of the painting I am scanning. I also save it as a TIFF. Once scanned, I open the scan in Photoshop and resize to the original size of the painting. I create a new layer and make sure it is set to sample all layers. And then select the spot healing brush. This tool mimics the pixels around it and fills in the area you painted with those pixels. It is a quick way to get rid of little bits of dust. It also helps extend the edge of the painting if needed. Lastly, I make a levels adjustment layer and slide the white and black to the start of the histogram. I then save it as a TIFF. To lay out my print, I open a new document that is the same size as the paper I am using. For this print, I used 8.5 by 11 paper. I make sure it is at 1200 dpi. I open File Explorer and drag in the scan of the painting I want to print. I sized it to 8 by 8 because that is the size of the original, so that will make for a good comparison of print versus painting, and then save it as a JPEG. Now to print it, just right-click on the JPEG and click Print. The Canon Pixma Pro 200 has wireless printing capabilities, so I don't have to plug in my computer. To get my printer ready to print, I open it up and turn it on. The paper that I like to use for my fine art prints is Canon's Photo Paper Pro Premium Matte Paper. It comes in 8.5 by 11 and 13 by 19. The paper weight is 210 GM2. I like this paper because Canon sells it for a really good price for the amount of sheets you get. When loading the paper, you want to make sure you are loading with the print side facing the right direction for your printer. I have noticed with this paper, the print side curls away from you. It is hard to tell with the 8.5 by 11 paper, but with the 13 by 19 paper, it is very obvious. While I was loading the paper, I realized I was out of photo cyan ink, so I replaced it. This printer uses CLI 65 ink, which is about $13 per ink cartridge. When loading the paper, you just have to select the paper size and paper type. I like to use the heavyweight art paper setting. When I went to print, for some reason, my printer wanted me to place my paper in the manual feeding tray rather than the top feeding tray. Sometimes it tells me to do this randomly and I have no idea why. Depending on the size print you are making and the size paper, this could take a bit of time. So I use this time to lay out more prints or cut prints. Once the print is done, I cut off the excess using my Dale 507 paper cutter. I like this paper cutter because the blade is self-sharpening, so the cut is super clean every time. In comparison of the print to the painting, all you are missing is just some texture, but other than that, color-wise, they look essentially the same. And that is it. That is how I make fine art prints of my paintings at home. I hope you found this video helpful and that I was able to make this task seem a little less daunting. I think as an artist, it is very important for you to make your art accessible to as many people as possible. And for some, that means they can only afford a print of your work. So learning how to make art prints yourself will lower the cost and in the end make the prints more accessible. Please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and comment any questions you have. I'm pretty new at making YouTube videos, so I might not explain things super well or show all the steps, but I really want to be a resource and help to you all, so just let me know questions you have. Thanks, bye!